on behalf. So how's everybody doing this morning? So I just want to share with you, I have all my girls behind me. I can kind of see. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be kind of checking out some new updos, some very easy ones. And then I'm going to do a little bit of Halloween hair and some fantasy hair. Some of these pieces, I'm going to go over my thought process and how I created them, because it's just something that once you start playing with it, then you get into a groove of that. So I just want to share those construction ideas with you. I'm just happy to be here, and thank you for having me again and for sitting in. And I think we're going to have a really fun 3.5 hours. So at first, what I want to do is I want to kind of go over some updos, talk a little bit about like upstyling, what's going on, what's kind of trending. Then we're going to take it into some Halloween hair, some easy ways that we can give our guests, family, friends, even ourselves, some fun hair, you know.
Before we do that, I'd like to make a quick announcement. The state has moved your registration or your date to renew your license to December the 31st. They say it's because of COVID. I think it's because of their computers, to tell you the truth. It's not quite clear whether you have to have all your hours before September the 31st, but I'm going to check on that, and I will send you emails to make that clear, okay? All right.
I'm sorry, I left. Sorry, I got to get dressed here.
Please.
It's easier to have it on me. So how's everybody feel about upstyling and updos, and everybody really good at them? If there's any questions, please just feel free to text and I can answer them as we go. It's a very mellow, chill, kind of rainy day today. So I'm glad we're all here and hope that you guys enjoyed having it at 9 o'clock instead of 10. So this way kids are off at school, grab a cup of coffee, and just sit back and relax and enjoy. And if you like, get a piece of paper and pen, draw some diagrams, take some notes. A lot of times I'm going to be going through a lot of different things. So just so that you can kind of have little notes to jog your memory if there's something that you want to redo. And Jerry will have the video where you can rewatch it again. So here we go, people. Ready? If there's any comments, please just put them in the comment box. So the first thing that I'm going to do is this is going to be just a really easy kind of faux hockey updo. I've gotten back into the wedding scene, and so right now a lot of styles are a lot of like chignons, but messy, deconstructed but constructed, where it's going to last all day. So I'd like to share this with you because it's very easy. It's a lot of ponytails and hardly any pins, which is something I really like.
Darlene, Diana commented that she gave up on updos a long time ago, but I am open to learning about them. So do you have any tips or suggestions about how to ease back in?
Yes. You know, when you're behind the chair and say you're doing somebody's hair, maybe give them a nice little braid or a chignon in the back just to show them how they can do it. So that'll ease into it. I know at the salon, it's like really hard once you become a like colorist or cutting and stuff like that. So it's hard to get back into doing updos. So that's why I kind of went into the wedding part, because then I felt like I was able to up my skills again and have that type of clientele, because Saturdays, a lot of times would be just coloring and cutting all day. And I really missed when we had homecomings and all this stuff. And it's like, I don't have time to do this. And I really enjoy doing a lot of long hair. So it's one way to ease into it, you know, give that person just that second option with their hair. And just maybe then it'll jog their kind of memory of like, hey, I've got a wedding coming up, or I've got an event. I mean, we've got holidays coming up right now. So it's like the perfect time to really start shining with that, you know, and so then they might say, can I book an updo with you, or can I book this where I want it styled? Because sometimes they forget that we're not just doing cut and coloring, we do a lot of styling and stuff like that. So does that help? Just ease into it, nice and smooth. Okay, so I'm going to keep her a little bit back here, and I'm going to turn her this way so that we can all see. There we go. By the end of the class, I'm going to be all the way up here. So first thing first, I just take my chopstick. Can we see this pretty good? Is that good? Angle down a little bit. Move over. There. Oh my gosh, perfect. All right. So I will try not to move. And just keep in this spot because I think it's really good. So she has quite long hair, and all I did was to prep her, I put a little bit of velvet cream from Invisible Wear. It adds a little texture to the hair. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of that into my hands, really work it, melt it in. And just, this is going to polish the hair a little bit, create just a little bit of texture. I did kind of smooth iron her a little bit and left a little wave. So it's not going to matter because this is something that's going to be more of like a mohawk kind of section. So first thing first, where did my chopstick go? I like using a chopstick for sectioning, and then I can hold the rest of the hair out. So I'm just going to take, and I'm going to have like probably about 4 pieces. And you know, a lot of times when you're doing bridal trials and stuff like that, you can kind of get it. I always like to take pictures as I'm deconstructing it when she's happy with it, so that I know kind of where I put this and where I tied this up. So I just took a section that's right here, head a little bit. And as you can see, it's just not really a heavy triangle, but it's just a part triangle. And
Can you show them how to do that chopstick there?
Of the chopstick?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a great way to section up. So I call it helicoptering the hair, or capturing the hair. So I'm just gonna put this in. I'm gonna take it from behind, and then I'm just gonna keep twirling it. And then just put it right in there. So see, and that holds it in. A lot of times my guests love that, and they're like, can you teach me to do that? Because they'd like to do it when they're cooking or whatever. So, okay, so I'm gonna take this hair right into here. And what I'm going to do, find a comb. And I have like a little barber comb, and I just want to go in here and kind of just give it a little texture because I don't want it too flat to her head. I'm just going to tease that off a little bit. Put that in there. And I'm just going to take this in my hand. And it's going to be a low. You can put this ponytail anywhere that you like, but you don't want to put it real close to the scalp. See how I'm about an inch away from the head. And so I'm just going to put this ponytail in. This is something, if you're not doing a lot of updos, this is a great way to kind of, again, ease into it. And I take each section. Okay. And now, you know, a lot of times we do the topsy, you know, we'll pull it through this way. Well, I'm going to go sideways because I want it to have more of a chignon look. So if you see how I took that, looped it through like this, got my two fingers. Can you see that? And I'm just going to pull this through. And then I'm going to pull a little bit of this out on this side. And see, by having that, see how I'm getting a nice profile. And it's all about the profile. Like you want to see how that is. So I just pulled that through. Okay. And now I'm going to take my spray and I'm going to tease that. And I have this little brush. This is like part of my hand. And I'm going to fatten this tail up just a little and make it a little bit smooth, but also a little fatter. And now I'm going to go back in again. And I'm going to loop this through. And do you see already how I'm creating that really nice shape? Now and I like to use hairpins and then I'll secure more later. So I'm just going to take a little bit of that hair on the side and I'm going to capture that and just put it in there. I'm going to take another hairpin and I'm going to do the same thing. Capture that hair and put it in there. So already look at how nice I'm getting that chin on. Now this tail right here. So I'm just going to capture that hair. I'm going to fan it out a little bit. And then I'm just going to put it right in here. Cover that tail if I can. And just let that hair dictate to you. Pin that in. So already I like my profile. I like how it's low. And it's already starting. So then I'm going to just do a little spray. And you can expand this, and I'll do more of that later. I'm just trying to get the shape done.
Much better.
Much better? Oh, yeah. Oh my God, that's beautiful. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to keep these sides out along here. And I will put this out of the way. You always want, I say the icing on the cake is the front. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to put this out of the way. And then I'm going to take a triangle that's going right on top of that occipital. And I'm going to put this out of the way. Stick that out. So now all I have are these two pieces right here. So what I'm going to do here is kind of that same thing. I'm going to put a little spray. Now, if somebody has really fine hair, I had a bride the other day and her hair was very fine. I'll go in and use some like boosting. This mannequin has some pretty good hair. But I'll use some sort of like root lifter or powder or something like that to it. So now again, same technique. I'm just going to go in here with my ponytail and see how I have it not about an inch away from the head. Okay. And before I went in this way and pulled, now I'm going to go the opposite. So I'm just going in on the side like this, putting both of my fingers through, and that's just so I can pinch it. There we go. So now I'm going to pinch that through. And as you can see right here, how it's pretty tight, right? So I'm gonna go in here and I'm gonna just pull this out. And I like it because it gives it just a really nice design. So if you want it to be a little bit more, you just pull out more. This way you don't have to do a lot of teasing at the base. Okay, so see, I'm kind of liking the way that's feeling. I'm gonna take my spray. It's giving it just a little bit of texture to the hair. And then I'm gonna pull that on this side. It's all about proportion. So when I look at the side of it, I'm already getting this really nice texture. So now I'm gonna go in here and just swoosh this up, or I do have like a sugar spray, which I really enjoy. And this is by Neon. So that's just giving it a little bit more texture to the hair. And because I went through this way, now I'm going to take my fingers again, pinch that through. And if you feel that you want it to be a little tighter, you can go in for the third time and just pull that through again. Okay. You can leave these tails out. I mean, there's all these different options that you can do. Grab some bobby pins. So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to kind of just put that tail in there and close that up. Can everybody see okay? So now you have this hair that's this way. So again, option is you can just kind of pull that out this way and then take your hairpin. How's that looking? Is that pretty easy for you guys? Again, I'm just going to take that and incorporate it. I'm just pushing that hair because I want to see how it's going. And then at the very end, I will secure this. See how that's looking right here? So I'm just going to take this and pin that. Because of having those rubber bands in there, that's really securing it.
Diana said you make it look easy. It looks amazing so far.
It is easy.
And Michaela said she'll definitely go back and watch this again.
See how I'm pulling this apart and it's expanding it. You know, when I'm doing upstyling and stuff, I always want to look back at it and say, okay, where's the hair start and where does it finish? And again, it's just all construction. It's like, where do you want that hair to have the biggest impact? And I mean, there's really no teasing in here, which is, to me, amazing. Okay, so now we have this whole top section and we have these sides. So I'm going to follow this line. Can you see that right here? And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to follow this line. So this is like right on that round of the head. And then I'm just going to twist this up. So seriously, you could do this, and prepping the hair is probably going to take you the most time. And then after that, you're good. Okay, here's my brush. So when it comes to the sides, this is where I feel like the top and the sides are something that you're going to personalize. Some people don't like a lot of hair. Some people like it to have on over the ear. Some like some of the ear to be covered. Some people like it to have a little bit of softness around the hairline. So you can just kind of personalize it. So right now, I'm just adding a little texture because I don't want it to look flat to her head. And, you know, that's the part that I hate seeing like if you're doing like a bride or something like that, that it just, oops, she's spinning. Yeah. It's just, girl down. And the hair's pretty good. We just lost a couple of hairpins here.
So in real life, she could fall over on the dance floor.
Yes, and that hair's
Right.
still there. We'll just move her head, how's that? So now, all I want to do is just kind of brush that out just a little bit. And kind of piece it and see where it's falling. And again, looking for that shape. So with that shape, I just want to take and I'm going to clip it because we're going to do another ponytail. And then I can split that up. But see how it's not totally on her head. So now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. And when you're ruching, you will always want to do it behind the direction that you're going. So if I was bringing this forward, then I would tease in front. But because I'm pulling it back, I want to tease from behind here. And then just go in with your spray, and kind of spray that up. If you want to add more texture, you can take and curl it with an iron. A lot of times I like to use my hand at first, just to kind of get it in that direction that I need. And then if I need to polish it, I'll take my little brush. And this is by Goody, but I like the color gold that it has. Another thing, this is, it's almost like a shoe polishing brush. And what that does is that kind of creates more smoothness to it. And the spray that I'm using, it's called Stay Strong, and it's by Paul Mitchell. Can you see that? It's still a working spray, even though it says that it stays strong. So now I'm just going to take that out. I'm going to pinch that, kind of check my balance to see if she's pretty much right on track. And I'm just going to take that up right here. I'm going to take this clip out. And now, see how that's kind of falling in? I'm going to take another ponytail. Can you see everything okay? And I'm just going to put that and see how it's not close, like her head is like to my knuckle right here. Okay, so I did this one where I pulled it through this way. This one I pulled through this way. So now this one, I'm going to split it in half right here. Take my fingers and I'm going to pull it through. And see how that's giving that a little bit of texture. And I'm going to ruche that up just a little bit, give it some base. I'm all about securing it. And one thing that a lot of people, when I'm doing these kind of upstyling, they like it because they don't feel like their head has tons of pins in it. So now I'm going to take my fingers again. Here they are. I'm going to pinch that through. And then I'm going to open that up. And then I'm going to take it this way. And it looks like I did like a French twist on it with a twist. And then I'm just going to build that up a little here. Now I'm going to take a hairpin and I'm going to pin. I'm going to pick that up and I'm going to pin that down. And see how my chopstick is still It's like right here, you can see it, but as soon as I pull that out, then it should be fine. It's not going to attach onto anything. And now, again, I just want to fill that in, deconstruct it. A lot of times I'll take 2 hairpins, almost like chopsticks, and see how like you just take them and pull them into place. So you can do 1 or 2 of these, you can do 4. What I like to do is just kind of let the hair dictate. Now I'm going to attach that onto here. But I'm liking the shape. Can you see the shape of it and how it's giving just a really nice construction to it? So now we have the top of her hair. So what we can do is we can, just roll that up, pull that out so that it's high. We can swoop it and do like a wave, but we are going to do just 1 more. But this one, I want to go in behind here. And she was just smooth ironed, like I was saying earlier, so I didn't want to put a lot of product. I'm going to take a little bit of my velvet cream because this is where I want to just get some texture in her hair, and I don't like a lot of flyaways, but I have that little bit of padding now in there.
Darlene Jewel says she's making it look so easy, but I know that once I start doing it, I'm going to have 2 left hands. Do you have any tips for practicing this and making it more routine?
Do you have a mannequin? Does she have a mannequin? Who is this, Jewel?
This is Jewel.
Jewel, do you have a mannequin? Yes, no? Even a short hair mannequin, this,
She said yes.
all right. Get it out, and we should do a hands-on class, right? Where we have mannequins. We've done that at our salon.
Well, and when everyone has the video, they can rewatch while their mannequin's out, pause when they need to pause,
There you go.
and practice that way.
So see how I'm just pushing this around and seeing where I want this? So I'm just going to take a piece of hair. And I mean, this is where, look at the shape already. And then I can go in here and just put this in. And put that through and then pin it. So see how that hair is telling me how I'm going to do it. So now what I want to do is I'm going to put another turn. So I did it this way last time, so now I'm going to go this way. And we'll see what this turns out. How's that shape looking? We could even just braid this section if we wanted to add a little bit more texture to it. I like that, because then think about this. If this is a bride, this is where she's going to put her veil, right? So now I'm just going to go through one more time. And if somebody has short hair, this works really well. Now I'm just going to go in here. I'm just trying to find where that tail, where I need to put it. So I'm just going to spray that out just a little bit. I'm going to take a bobby pin. So I don't like opening my bobby pins with my teeth or opening them too far. But when I'm trying to capture hair and where I'm going to be tucking it in, then I'll open it just a little bit. And so now I'm going to put this right here and see how that's separating. And then I just pinch it this way so that it just has that very natural look to it. And then in through here, I like the way that's looking. So now I'm going to take a bobby pin, open it with my thumb. And I'm just going to put that right in here at the base. And this looks great with somebody with highlighted hair. See how she kind of got a little bit to the side like that. I'm going to take the spray. This is more of a firmer spray, so I'm just going to spray this where I want it. How is she looking, guys? And then, you know, like in the videos, they pinch that hair and see how I'm creating that texture. You want something that's a little bit on the wetter side of things so that when that hairspray is wet, which the Avapui anti-frizz hairspray, can you see that? That's a little bit wetter of a spray and a finishing. So I just really want to open that up, create that texture. I was watching a class and one guy says, you don't want 6 o'clock hair, you want 11 o'clock hair, right? So you don't want to look like you've just been coiffed and it's like perfect. You want to have that little bit of texture to it, a little bit of like lived in. So I want to create just that hair that's already kind of messy. Now I'm going to go in here. I'm liking the shape of it. And now I'm going to take my pins. And so when you take your bobby pins, one thing that I like is that you have those two sides, right? So the taller side is the side where you're going to capture the hair. And the bumpy side is what's going to be leaning against the head. Because see how that's like got a little bit of a curve to it and it's going to have more grip to it. Yeah, I can't see you, but oh, okay. So yeah, so it's just gonna grip that. Ooh, she's looking really good. So again, so I'm gonna just take a little bit of that hair, capture it. I'm going to capture some hair from the other side, and then I'm just gonna back it in. So see, and that's gonna secure it. So now, if you wanted to, you could go in and put, see how I'm just a few pins right here. And she's pretty secure, and this is just because of the ponytails. And now I'm going to, I love all the different waves and textures she has. So I'm gonna do the finishing result with it. And I'm gonna take it, I started from the bottom, and now I'm gonna work from the top. And I just wanna pull out some of that hair like this, and it's better when that spray is wet. And I'm gonna go in here. This is a little wonky, so I'm just going to put a pin right there.
Darlene, someone has asked, Diana has asked, what is the other Paul Mitchell hairspray you are working with? So I told them about the Avapui hairspray.
So this is, whoops, there it is. Firm Style, Stay Strong. So that's like a working, plus I have, you know, like Worked Up is really good. It's a little bit softer. What I like about this one is that it puts some shine into the hair. So we'll just go back in here. So how's everybody liking this? Easy peasy? I'm gonna tip her head down. So when you look at this, I want you to say like, okay, how is that done? It looks like it's a French twist, you know, but it's just a lot easier. And it's not so tight. And the ponytails just really hold everything in. So like in through here, I'm gonna take those hairpins out now.
Diana says, I think it looks great, and Jewel has asked, what is that spray in the black can again?
Oh, that's the Avapui anti-frizz hairspray.
And this is the wetter one?
This is the wetter one. Yes, and this is the one that I like to finish with. And I like to just bring this down. So you can bring this, look at this, just by moving things. Okay, look at how nice and shiny and her shape, you know, I'm just kind of spraying that up. But say she likes it up, right? And she wants it away from her neck. Okay, but if she wants it to be down a little bit, look at this. I can bring this down. And then take my pin and see how I'm just holding that, capturing that little bit of hair, and then just backing it in. So that's going to hold it in place. Say I want a little bit more down and through here. And I have such good control because it's all in the ponytails. So see how that brought it down just a little bit. Yeah. So imagine if you took this and just pulled like from here to here down, pulled out just to get a little bit of fullness and just did a chignon down here. That would be so easy. So this technique you can use in so many different applications. Say she just wants it on the top. There we go. Say she just wants like a top bun or something. That would be perfect for that top bun. Down here. She's got a good shape. I like how she's up. It's not plastered to her head. And it's seamless. You don't see any lines anywhere in it. It's actually better right there. So now if you wanted to, you could go in and you can put like little flowers in the back of her hair, stones. You could sew things into it. And just remember, like, just to pull it apart a little bit, take those ends and you can just keep just pushing these out like that. See how I'm like taking those ends and it's making it a little bit wider. So how easy is this?
Diana says she loves it.
And she found one. So look at this. She's down. She's down for the count. And she's not moving. And she travels well. So this is like a ponytail, chignon, a French twist without having the twist in it.
Please, nice.
Very
Jewel says
pretty.
it looks good, and I love the texture it has.
Yes, I'm all about that texture. So speaking of texture, a lot of times after I'm done, what I like to do is I'm heating up my iron right now. And I just take at the very end. And as soon as this gets hot, I just take and I just pull. Do you see how that just gives that little bit more definition to it? I can take the sides and it just gives it a little bit more
That's cool.
definition to it. So see if you want to take and you just kind of pull that away like that. Or you can put a wave. See how that kind of waved it just a little bit. So you can do things like that afterwards. And then there's this one thing that I like to do. Do you have a napkin?
Mhm.
I'm gonna show them that. So this is chamoising the hair. So say you want to have that, 11 o'clock hair versus the 6 o'clock hair. I'll take like a paper towel. I have all kinds of tricks. And I'll just spray it. And then I'll just go in here like this. And what that's gonna do is that's just gonna
Soften it.
chamois it up and soften it up a little bit. So you can just do that. And it just takes some of those hairs and pulls it out.
Joel had a question about your iron. Is that a bionic style liner?
Yes, it is. This is like one of my favorites. I use a wand, but a lot of times I just use that and it just kind of turns around. What I like is it gets really hot and it really holds the curl really nice. Okay, so this is my first girl. We've got a lot going on here today. So we will put her here. We'll give her the spotlight for a little while. We'll put her here. Okay. I'm all about ponytails. So this is going to be another ponytail. So, prepping the hair is like very key. It's to
Can
me,
you
it's
take the light down?
very important. I know she's really,
The light's a
she's
bit much
light
better
and
because
very
she's light.
shiny. So again, I'm just going to go in with some velvet cream. And I just want to start adding some texture to her. Here's the velvet cream right here. I can bring her. Yeah, she's really
This is too
shiny.
much
She's
light.
reflecting. She's so bright. And I'm just gonna put that in her hair. And again, I just want to add texture to it.
That's better.
There we go. Okay, so what I did with her to prep her is that I used some volumizing shampoo. And it's, like I said, it's all about prepping. She has some natural wave. So all I did was take, twist, and kind of tie her up like that while she was drying, because I don't like to add a lot of heat to these mannequins. And I just wanted you guys to see her with her natural wave. When I was drying her, because I air dried her, I hung her upside down outside yesterday because it was so beautiful. So if a person's hair is very flat and you want to have a lot of softness, go in even dry with a little bit of foam and put it in the hair and kind of finger blow dry that hair up into the direction that you're wanting it to go. So I hung her upside down because I knew that I'm going to be pulling all her hair up. So I didn't want to have a lot of those flyaways. So it's in that direction. So if you don't have that opportunity to hang somebody's head upside down, you're going to take a blow dryer, put a little foam in their hair, and then just go in and blow dry it in the direction that you're going to be placing this hair.
Closing the cuticle.
Yeah, and it kind of gives it that direction of going up. And if their hair is straight down and you're trying to put it up, sometimes it collapses. So that's going to give it that fullness in that body. So she has just some avapui wild ginger sculpting foam for hydration, because she has natural wavy hair. And I hung her upside down. And she's air dried. And the more I play with it, I feel like even it's getting a little bit better, her ends. But we're not going to be seeing that. So we'll get started on this one. So my last girl, what we did is we started from behind, at the bottom. This time I want to start doing the very top of her hair. So we're going to take her hair, and again, when I'm going in and kind of deciding where, I'm building texture and stuff like that, and what I need to do, I really want to look at that hair and see how she's falling. A lot of times I just leave that hairline out because then I can always incorporate it. So I just use my fingers I try to have a nail that is a little longer, but it keeps breaking on me. So then that's where the chopstick comes in handy. So I'm just taking out, you can see, just this whole section, and it's like right to the ear and to the ear on the other side. And then I'm just scooping out right here. I don't want to take too much of that, so I'm just going to leave that. And again, I'm going to take my chopstick. Where did it go? And I'm just going to put that in there because I want to keep that wave, so that'll kind of wave it just a little bit more. Up. And how's that? I think that looks good. So now what I want to do is I really want to have some of that texture. So I am going to take some more of my cream. You can go in with a lot of different products. I do like my sugar spray. Really don't have a lot of products, but this kind of adds texture. So any kind of sugar spray, kind of wetting it, but not really. It's just kind of, it dries really quick. And I just really want to have texture. So now I'm feeling her head, and right at the round of her head, I'm just going to go in with a triangle. And that sugar spray is just really giving it some of that texture. So she's parting a little bit here, so I just want to go in here and just add some more texture to her hair. Spray right here. And see how that lifts up. And so now we have that triangle. And again, we're going to take a ponytail. So a lot of my updos start right back here, because then this way I'm building that somewhat of that bump. Can you see that? Starting that bump. So now I'm going to take this hair again, and I'm going to capture it. Take from underneath a little piece, and I'm just going to bring that up a little, and then see how I get that nice smoothness to it. Then I'm going to go in here, and like before, I went sideways. Now this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it through right in here. And then I'm going to pull out. And this is a very kind of messy.
Darlene, Jewel is asking, does it make a difference if you use a teasing comb versus a teasing brush?
Yeah, so teasing comb has less teeth, whereas if you use a teasing brush like this, it has like a little bit of teeth on here. You're gonna just get more ruching with it. So see how I'm already creating that texture in there and getting that lift. And then I'm just gonna leave this end for now. Now I'm going to take my next section, which is right here. And where that point was, I'm just going to bring that down as a diagonal like this. Can everybody see that sectioning?
Mhm.
So it's like another triangle. And I'm going to take my spray. So this is kind of almost like another, but it's going to be very soft. So then I'm going to take another ponytail. pull that. And now I'm going to take and pull that through. As you can see, I'm using rubber bands that are dark. It's fine because they're all going to get covered, so I'm not worried about it. Also, even on blonde hair, I like to use either the blonde pins, if they have that right shade, if they're not too platinum, but I normally use black pins because when you're taking photographs, you don't see them. If you happen to see a pin, it just looks more shadowed. So now I'm going to go in here and do that same thing. I'm just going to pull out where that texture is, and that's going to create that texture for me. So see, as I start to pull this out, and I'm holding that tail, and see how it's starting to just give a lot of texture. A lot of these brides and updos, they want to see all that texture in the hair, and I thought she would be really good because she's a blonde. So now I'm going to take and pin this, and I'm just going to take a straight up bobby pin here, and I'm going to pin that, capture that hair, and just pin that in there. And these pins are just very stubborn. Once they're in, they're in. And see how that's already starting to give her just that texture to her hair. So now I'm going to take, like I did on the other side, a triangle right here. I'm going to see where that's sprayed a little bit. I like to spray and see what kind of texture she's getting out of just that little wave. I'm just using my hands. And this is another one that just takes me about an hour. And now I'm going to go in here. And like I did before, remember which way that you pull those. So see, when I pull this way, see how all that texture I get? And it looks like I've just taken pieces and pieces, but it just really secures it. And then I'm going to pull that out. And if you feel that you pulled out too much, then go back in. And now I'm going to take another bobby pin, or not a bobby pin, a rubber band. See this? Okay. And now I'm going to take and connect these two, because what this is going to do then, it's going to just connect really nice for me.
Jewel commented, that's really nice to know about the dark pin. Very interesting to know. Thank you.
Now I'm going to turn that one just one more time, and then just your styling as you go. This is going to go in here. And like I said, don't worry about those because we will take care of that at the end. But do you see how she's starting to get that really nice texture in here? So now I'm going to go in and split this in half. Again, I'm going to clip this out of the way because I'm going to connect these two. So right here. And depending on how you want it, if you want to go in and do, you know, a lower one, you can go this way, or if you want it to be up higher, you can just pull all that up. See how that kind of gives it more like what we just did. So I want to just kind of keep it different. So as I start playing with the hair, I'm like, ooh, I think I'm going to try this instead. But it kind of starts to, the more you play with it, the more you're going to find new discoveries. And you know, just put a mannequin head when you're watching TV or something. And I'm gonna spray that. I want to see where she's going with this. And I'm gonna topsy turn it that way and just pull these out. Then I'm gonna put this here right through it. So see how I'm going in here. And pulling that. And then I'm going to go one last rubber band. And put that one in. So I took half of the hair. And now I'm going to split that up. Again, I'm going to push it through this way. So that's going to give it just a little bit more texture. And then I'm going to take all of this hair. So see, here's that one ponytail. So I'm leaving this one, but I'm taking the rest of that other one. So they're all kind of connected. They're all family now. They were all brothers and sisters and cousins, and now they're all family. They're all lumped into one. I'm going to go in here. Now, I don't want to go this way up with it, which you could. So see how if I take that ponytail this way, do you see how that's making it tighter? Or if I flip it this way, do you see how it brings it down? So if you want to bring those down and curl those ends, you can have something more like that, and then just putting things in. So it all depends which way. I'm going sideways and I'm pulling it like that. So see how, and then I'm just going to pull this out because I want it to be very romantic. Okay, put this tail out right now. So now I'm going to put another rubber band. So instead of using bobby pins, it's like I use all these rubber bands. I go through a lot of rubber bands. And so now I'm just going to pull. Now I'm going to take my teasing brush and I'm going to tease this. Spray. Take my bobby pin. Get that end in. Now I can go in and wrap it so that it's more this way, or I can go in this way. And I think I'm just going to bring it through that tail. And that in. So she has just a little cute bow at the end. Now I'm going to take my bobby pins and start covering these rubber bands into here. And again, just pulling these out. There we go. I know at first you're kind of like, wait, how is she going to cover those up? Now I'm going to just take pin that in. So see how we're starting to lose all those rubber bands. I know it's like what it looks one way, and then all of a sudden you're like, what? What just happened? So now I'm going to go in here. And I'm actually going to twist this because I just love a lot of texture in my hair. I'm just going to twist. Pull that through one more time.
Cool.
this up. Pin that in. So it's starting to look like I curled her hair, right? Now I'm just capturing some of that hair. It doesn't look like I like put so much time and effort into
It
this.
looks really complex, but
Really nice. Yeah.
So I don't like to see like a line like right here. So I'm going to spray this. It's romantic hair, and see how I want to capture these two together. So this is where my hairpins come in, because I don't need the stability or whatever, you know, where I need to really focus. I just need to kind of close that up. So see how that just closes it up. And then in here, I'm going to pull more out. See how that's all coming together. So I'm going back in. I'm just going to pull a little bit of this hair, capture it onto some of the other hair. Put that bobby pin in there so you don't see it. Okay, here's another one. I'm going to pull this out just a little bit. And she will stay for days. Take that. And so again, let the hair dictate to where it needs to be. And pulling all that out. And then into here, this is that very top one. So I'm going to pull this down. How am I doing here? How's that shape
Wonderful.
going? Look at that nice shape.
Look at that, 2 updos in 1 hour.
And I'm just going to kind of pin that in.
Perfect.
Darlene, how about some input on timing for these and pricing?
Okay, so pricing, it all depends. So it was, you know, like, it depends where you're working, or if you're in the salon, or if you're doing, you know, mobile weddings, stuff like that. It's what you're worth, you know. I feel that the timing doesn't dictate to how much money you're going to be charging, you know. So I feel that it's your knowledge of how you can get it done quicker. So I had to step in and help a friend that does mobile weddings this past weekend, and no bride trial. I had to land up doing the bride and 6 of her bridesmaids. And true story. So she says, well, how much time do you need? And I'm like, well, I'm not doing a trial. I always take about 45 minutes to an hour for the bride, and then I take a half hour for the rest of the girls. And she's like, that's all you need? And I'm like, yeah. I mean, I got done with all of them, and I still had an hour to spare. So, because I do a lot of just, look, I didn't really have to prep her hair, but it looks like I curled it all, right? So now in through here, I'm taking this side.
Yeah, Darlene,
Triangle.
people always say, God, you're fast. When I'm sharpening shears, say, God, you're fast. I said, yeah, 33 years of practice.
Right? You just have to know where that construction is. So in through here, I like her texture. So I'm just going to go in because I want to kind of mimic what's going on. Now, if I wanted to, or here's, I can leave a few pieces down and then we can curl those.
Joel said, I love this. It's just amazing. And Michaela said, it's beautiful.
And see how, if you want to add more texture, just do some twists. Do you see how that changed it up? So now I'm just going to twist that, pull those out. But you can do this updo, seriously, on curly hair, on straight hair, it adds all that texture to it. Just want to show you where I'm going with this. So here's that twist. So I'm just going to be putting it right in here. So again, I'm going to open that pin, put that hair in there, flip it, and then just stick it right in there. And then you can take that end and you can fish it through somewhere later on. You see how that's already falling in, and she just has a really nice shape to it. So now I'm going to go to this side and do that same thing. And I'm just going to take that little piece out. There we go. She's a pretty good long hair mannequin. So now I'm going to go in and spray this. And I like to shake the hair because then that kind of separates it and gives it that texture. So see, even if I just wanted to do this on this side, and you just, gonna just lay it by ear. I do like having the texture of it because it just shows off all the blonde. And again, you don't see where it's at, you don't see where it started or where it didn't. I'm taking a longer bobby pin this time. See, it's like an extra long one. And this way I can kind of helicopter and then just place it right where I need it. And then I'll just take that end. See, I kind of messed up right in there. So I'll pick it up, put it right there. And then I can hide this little tail. Just stick it in there. And take your hairpin.
I really like the pieces hanging down. It gives it like a whimsical feel.
It's romantic.
Diana says, so far this is gorgeous.
And easy, right? So see, and I'm always checking my balance to see on all the different angles of what she looks like. Now we have this part right here. And so I'm just going to take out a little bit right here. And a little bit out right here, right? So she has that coming down. And then I'm going to spray this. So when you're constructing hair, just see how it's going to fall. And through here, I think I'm going to add, if you want to add texture on somebody with like long hair, straight hair, put it in a really soft braid. See how I'm kind of braiding this up? And what that's going to do is that's going to give her that little bit of texture, and I'm just going to kind of grow that up. I know, it's like, okay, what are you doing now? Oh, just rolling it up, putting it in, and seeing what shape she has. And I don't like it, so I'm going to tease it. And sometimes this part is like, there we go. See how that just changed it up? And just let that lay on top like that. And I'm not like going rough. I mean, if anything, it's very gently, gingerly placed. Now I'm going to take my heavier spray because I want to give that wetness to it. So remember how I said I let her hang? So her hair wants to go all this way. So see how, but see now her shape is good. And now all I have to do is capture these ends. It should be easy peasy. Take a nice brush. Actually, this brush is my favorite. It's like I have my favorite brushes, my favorite combs. And then I'm just gonna spray that up. So I could see with this, like some flowers in the hair and some, see how that's just falling in there. And just let that hair fall in. And take this. There's always a home for each piece of hair. That's how I feel. Open that pin. Here's that curl. I'm gonna pin it right there. You see how that just all falls in.
Oh, wait. Oh, great, wonderful.
Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and bring her down some more. And I'm telling you, she is so secure. And I just like to make sure that I don't see the pins. I want to make sure that I don't see any hollow spots. Sometimes just take a photograph with your phone, and then you'll see if something is too wide or if you need to put it in a little bit more. Like I feel that she's a little wide right here. So I'm going to take a wide, one of my larger pins right here. And I'm going to go in with the heart, with the straight side. And I'm going to go right where, I'm going to put my hand down right here. I'm going to go right in here and I'm going to sew. See how I'm sewing like that? And then I'm just going to put that in there. You're not going to see that pin, but what it's doing, can you see the difference? Do you see how that kind of brought it in just a little bit more?
Mhm.
So you can do that like afterwards.
Susan says, so pretty.
It's romantic, right? So now I'm going to go in here and I'm going to take my pieces. And so if you want, you know, all those ponytails, you can take less ponytails. And then you can go in and put them lower. You know, you could take larger sections.
So you created a foundation there to lift it off her face a little
Mhm.
bit at the root.
Yeah.
Cool.
So then in through here, I'm going to take a little bit of my cream. That I'm almost out of. And then just kind of go in there. See how that softens that up.
Wow, nice.
And then the same thing here.
You are
Just
tricky.
push that up just a little bit. And then it gives it that romantic, where it's soft. Wow, she looks pretty. I just love this. She was so puffy right here, so I'm just bringing that down just a little bit. So I'm using my iron. And then I'm just going to curl that up.
Sylvia says, I love that. Such a great idea to use a cream and push up the curl.
All the little tricks, right? So everybody feel comfortable with ponytails? Just think, the ponytail is going to give you so much more support. So again, we're just going to
Jewel
run
says,
that
thank
through.
you for showing us your tricks.
I love tricks. Anything to make it easier, you know? I love the curls, but I hate when they're all like a sausage curl. So when you like where it's at, then just spray it lightly on both sides. I feel like blonde hair is like angel hair, you know? And just push those curls up a little bit. And they'll stay supported.
Diana says this looks so beautiful.
Great.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you wanted to, you can always just put that up too. See how that just goes right in there. If she didn't want all those, but this is kind of where we're going with things.
Joy said gorgeous.
So this created, I mean, if you look at this, look at all the detail and the texture. And then like if you wanted to go in and put flowers or put, you know, anything in the hair, you can just put them all in through here. If, see how, I mean, it's still movable. So like say she had a veil, it would probably go like right here. So you would have a spot right there. So that would be really nice and secure for her. And yeah, she's up to too. She looks very bright. I should have brought a veil. So
Can't you make one out of
difference-
here real quick?
The difference between the two of them, I mean, they kind of, if you look, they have similar shapes, right? But they have a totally different vibe. One is very soft, you have the pieces coming down, she's very severe. So she's a little taller, she's a little bit more romantic. So, yeah, my girls. Let's go, we're ready to go play. If you're like, all I need to do is dress her up. Okay. How are we doing?
Great, great.
I think we're doing really well. I was like really, when I was, Jerry, we were talking about what to do and he says, do some of your competition hair. And then he was in our salon sharpening scissors. And I had a client in there and she goes, why don't you do some Halloween hair? And I'm like, oh my God, it's so perfect. And I feel like I'm right on target and trend with everything because if you go to all the cooking shows, which I love doing or watching, everything's on Halloween right now. So I'm like right on there. I did watch the Emmys last night. I don't know if anybody else did, but the hair was nothing really. And I was Googling the Met Gala, you know, at the Metropolitan, and they had all these different hairstyles. They were very cool. So I was inspired. So this is going to be one that I'm kind of inspired with, and I just want to share with you. I took a snap of it on my iPad. And let's see if I can pull up my photo. So this is, she's, Naomi, whoops, wrong one. Here we go. So this was at the gala. And I thought that was really cool. So I kind of got inspired by this, not doing it totally the same way, but isn't that cool? Look at that. I was just like, I can do this. So I want to share with you guys how I created my interpretation of hair wings. You guys want to see how I did it?
Oh, yeah.
And this is before we do the updo. So this is kind of going into more gala, I guess. So the first thing I do, and I think, first thing first, so when you're constructing here,
You want this?
yeah, I'll put it right here. So when you're constructing here, You might have to zoom down on here. If you could put it down on this tin foil. Uh-oh, I'm giving Jerry projects here. There we go. And then like that. Oh, perfect, right there. Okay, so the first thing that I did was I took a weft of hair. Okay, can you see that? This is just a weft of hair.
That's an extension?
That's a hair extension. So I'm gonna cut it in half because I don't need it that big.
You want some scissors?
Yeah, I need some scissors, Jerry.
In that drawer there, that first drawer,
I should have cut this in half.
there should be.
Okay, so you're gonna lay down a piece of,
Cheers.
all right. Thank you. So you're gonna, I'm just gonna cut this in half because I don't wanna have too big of a piece. So these wefts, you know, you can get them at Sally's, they're really cheap. So what I'm gonna do, and this is what I do at home a lot, when I'm constructing, and I'll share with you lots of different ways. I take, okay, this is a generic, and I don't use expensive products because I'm constructing with them. But I learned this from Takashi, and he used Freeze and Shine, but this is just like the Freeze and Shine. It's a generic one. And I spray my weft of hair. This is like your DIY. So you can take wefts of hair, you can take other types of hair, any kind. And then this is the key. Mod Podge. You know what Mod Podge is? Okay, I use it for all my hair pieces. This mixed with Freeze and Shine, sometimes I mix the two of them together and then put it on there, and I can paint it on there or whatever. I spray this, it's just easier. And Mod Podge is a decoupage. So now I'm going to go to the other side, do the same thing. And once it starts to dry, so has anybody ever decoupaged before? Do you know what decoupage is? Anybody?
I do.
No, right.
So what decoupage is like, you can put it over pictures, and like if you want to laminate like pictures or stamps or any kind of papers
Or a
and
puzzle.
over a piece of furniture or yeah, a puzzle where it's like, it's a glue. So it works great on hair. I mean, granted, not real hair, synthetic hair. So then I'm going to take, I have my grandmother's comb. That works great. It's just like this little plasticky comb that was from probably the 60s or something. And you're just gonna start to comb that hair. And you see how wet it already is? Can you see that? Here, I'll do it. And so it has to go on foil because this is the only thing that it doesn't stick to.
Yeah.
Yeah, because once it dries, it'll dry. So see already how I'm getting, and you want to make sure that it's the way you want it, because once it dries, it's like those pieces that I did. So I just comb this on. I'll put a little more Mod Podge. And I just flip on that. So sometimes this, and then I take the back of the comb, and do you see how I'm starting to fill in? It's not as streaky. So if you want it to be more like
Solid.
halfway solid, you just push down on it. See the difference? How I learned about this was through, I don't know if anybody knows Takashi. He's with Paul Mitchell, and he did like a face mask out of this kind of hair. So he is the one who showed me decoupaging. So when I started doing like these hair shows and competitions, I asked him, because I worked with him one day, and I says, so how do you do it? And he says, you know, it'll be in your mind, but you've got to construct it and see how that hair is going to fall. You're working on a round surface. But he showed me how to construct pieces of hair. So do you see how, as I'm talking to you, how it just went from being straight to, now you can go in and you can, you know, make it any which way. Like I want to keep these ends a little bit more straight like that and just kind of wispy. But look at that. It almost looks like an eyelash, right? So then I take more Freeze and Shine and spray it. You want it really wet. Now you can take a blow dryer and blow dry it, or you can let it dry. Like sometimes I use different textures that I have to put another piece of foil down, and then I put books on top of it or weights so that it gets real flat, you know. Or you can go in now and you can mold it. Like I'll just do this and I'll lay it on a bowl or something, and then it'll have this shape to it. So then it'll look different. So it's whatever you want. You have more flexibility with this. Like if I wanted to, I could just leave it just hanging like this, let it dry. And then all you do is peel it, and then you have it. You have them just like what these pieces are. Pretty cool.
Yeah, very good.
So I just wanted to show you how my DIY with it. So we're just gonna let this dry. And see, you can kind of mush it. Now, if you wanted to lay more hair on top of it, you could. Or if you wanted to put sprinkles on it. I mean, it's endless. You can just, all kinds of crazy stuff with
How
it.
did you create your waves in your other one? Did you just make them in the hair then with your fingers?
So I followed a little bit of the wave, and so I just waved it.
Like a
You
finger
know.
wave kind of.
Just like a finger wave. But yeah, so this is it. And now we could actually put this outside and let it dry so that maybe by the end of class, I'll have it, but it stays wet for a long time. There you go. So how do you guys like that?
I like it. I like it. Fun stuff.
I'm bringing different things to the table here. So this is like how my mind kind of works. Later, we will be using a glue gun. I really feel like the DIY girl. Okay. Put these two back.
Allison says that's very cool. Never tried that before.
Okay, so now we can go back up to the beginning. So she was a mannequin that I think I permed her or something. She has so much texture in her hair. So I really just wanted to celebrate it. I'm all about that texture. And again, my inspiration was Naomi Osaka or something, her name, I think it is. Does anybody know who she is?
The actress.
Mhm. But I just thought it was very cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and I thought because her hair is pretty tight on that photograph, I'm just going to go in and I'm going to do some fun knots here. And again, she was very tight to the head. So, because I want to really make these pieces go out. So I'm just going to take and I'm going to knot. So when you're knotting, okay, I like to use, now this is a body booster bodifying cream by No Inhibition. I don't even know if they're around anymore, but it's got a little bit of stick to it. I know I'm like using all these different products here, but this is more my styling products that I like. So when you take your knots, you're just gonna knot.
Darlene, can you tell me the name of that one again so I can get it in our chat for everyone?
It's called No Inhibition. I don't even know if they are around anymore. So I'm going to knot. So see how that's just gonna really, because I want to build up. So I am taking the sides out like I normally do. I always take my sides out because I never know what I'm going to do with them. So I'm just going to take that one out. I'm going to take this one out. And because she has so much texture. Now, if you wanted to, I was thinking about this as I was making my pieces. And is my lighting off again? Did I move?
She's got dark hair and it's hard to see.
Okay,
The blonde is perfect,
how's that?
much better.
Okay. So, I was like, how would I do that with her own hair? So if you wanted to, you could just take like pieces of the hair, wave that out, spray it, and use a flat iron, and you would get that too,
You're
How's
good.
that? Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to go in again, and I'm going to knot. See how these are just really, because she has so much texture in her hair. And I'm going to take this. And take some more cream. I'm only taking like this much. Working that in my hand. So any questions? Anybody have ideas what they need to ask me or? Now see with that texture, see how we're getting this really cute. Just pulling these on the side right now because I have a plan for those. Okay. Love knots. No ponytails, just knots this time. So here's a knot. Now this one, I'm not going quite as tight because I want to have a little bit. So here's the knots. And now I'm just going to secure them and connect them together. So I'm just connecting these two together. So I feel that it's more about these pieces than what the hair is doing. And I think that's what the stylist for Naomi did. They just wanted those pieces to really come out. Okay, so now we have these pieces. And the reason for these pieces is, I'll show you in a minute. I mean, if we wanted to, you could tie those up or you could, knot some more and pull those up. So we'll leave those out for now. And we're going to secure these babies, which will be very easy. So I can either place them this way or this way. And I kind of like them that way. So I'm going to move all of this in through here.
So Darlene, you say for a style like this, prep again is what takes the most time?
Yes, well, especially if you're making these wings. So of course I exaggerated them a little bit, but it's what it's supposed to be. And if you want to, you can go in and cut these, you know, and make them shorter. So now I'm just taking my pin and securing this in right here.
You can cut the ends like a zigzag.
You can do so many different things. I kind of like it going up like that. We'll put the other one down. But see how I'm just taking those pins, and because it's hair, it still has flexibility to it. That's in there. And now these pieces are going to cover that right up. So thinking about this class today, I was like, you know, just really trying to focus on what I was gonna do, and, you know, I wanted to wow you guys. So now I hope I'm wowing you guys.
Wow, me.
So this one, I'm gonna go downward. So at the salon, like especially because homecoming coming up, so you know, if the girls want any fun pieces, I always have bucks of hair if I need to add to it. And sometimes it's like colored, it's not colored hair, but see how nice that kind of falls right in here. So did I get, this is like my interpretation of Naomi's hair.
Looks like it's gonna be close.
One more pin right here. I don't think she'll travel very well. You see, I'm just pinning it right to it. And I'm going to take these tails and just twist them, because again, I don't like seeing anything. So then it kind of ties it all in that way. So I was so glad I had this mannequin, because I had these wefts of hair, and I was like, okay, do I put it on a blonde? Do I put it on a brunette? And then like she's kind of separating a little bit right here, so I can go back in and spray. We're getting there. Oops, I'm gonna spin her around because I keep spinning her. So in through here, so see how she's a little bit wobbly. So I'm just going to take this hair, roll it up. And see how that hair just kind of pushes it out, so it's out more. She's got like little angel wings. If it was on a blonde, she would be an angel. And so now I'm just going to take that pin, put it in there. And so that's going to give me that security that I need. And I'm just going to see how that, again, people will be like, okay, how is that in your hair? That's what I want people to try to figure out. So I got one side up, one side down. So what are you guys thinking about this? So could we use this for Halloween?
Sure, it's fun.
So now I'm going to take this hair and just roll it up. My husband always says that this is my, see how that supports it and brings that out. He said, this is my hobby. I have all this hair, so you should have seen my dining room table yesterday. I had all these mannequins out. I was zhuzhing them up, and we had to eat dinner on the counter. She almost looks like she's like Harley or flying, an eagle soaring. It's kind of cool. And it's just really an easy way to get those pieces of hair. But if I wanted to take that breath and really put spray on it, I'd have to spray, spray, spray. And I don't have that control of having those pieces the way they want to be.
Diana said, I admire your ability to duplicate the style. I don't think I can do this myself.
Aw, thank you. Is everybody enjoying so far?
Ooh.
Okay, so I just took a little bit of spray. So look at all her curls right here. This is like more hair right here than I have on my whole head.
You have guesses. Yes, yes, yes.
So I'm going to take this, like hers was standing up. I have my own kind of version with this. So I'm just taking a 3-strand braid. I'm just incorporating the curls as they fall in, okay? And I started on the left side and I'm working to the right. So I'm just gonna take some more of this hair right here. And put that in. So see how I really want to have that texture. So then I'm going to take a little hair from this side. Can you guys see okay?
Lisa said, awesome class. Love these tricks and ideas.
So now I'm going to bring it here. And then I'm going to take another curl. And then another curl. And it's all going to come to this side. Like I said, just always remember what the hair wants to do. And you can encourage it to go into the direction you want, but remember, just kind of like blow dry it or. So I'm making hers look like a hat. So I know hers is tighter, but like I said, this is the Darlene version of it. So now,
If any of you guys try this, I want pictures.
please, I want to see what you can decoupage in here. So now I'm just going to, I like bringing that down. What do you think, guys? Do you like that? So now I'm just going to go right in here.
Maria Lisa said she likes your version better.
They should have had me do her hair, right? I should send this to her and say, you inspired me.
Yeah, you missed out. Oh.
No. But see, I just, honestly, I did nothing to this mannequin. This was like a perm and from another class. And so and her hair color matched perfect. So now I'm just going to go in here. I can pin that down just to secure that. I mean, we can put some jewels in there if we needed to, and just do all kinds of kind of fun stuff with it. So guys, how long did this take me?
I don't know, it took a half hour. Yeah.
About a half hour.
Not even
No, I don't think so. I feel like 20 minutes.
that. Yeah.
I mean, I probably spent half the time showing you how to
Make
make the hair. So yeah, so easy, 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 easy. And this is Hair Wars, right? I could do this for
yeah.
Hair Wars. You could do this for Halloween, shape them into ears, shape them into all different kinds of bat things. And Yeah. And she's asymmetrical. We could have just done one, you know, or we could make them shorter. We can cut them. I like cutting these with the shears that are like the zigzag, the pinching shears,
Thinking.
pinking shears, pinching shears. So.
That's
let's
very
get that shape.
Fun.
So who's gonna try this? Anybody?
Susan said you could spray the American flag over it.
Ah, how about an eagle right there?
Yeah.
Like the head of
And
an
then
eagle. This could be the eagle wings. That would be so cool. And then just do, you know how they make those pieces with the animal faces out of here? They shape it. We could do an eagle's head and have the wings.
Maria
Make it in
Lisa-
red, white, and blue.
Yeah, Maria Lisa said totally using that Mod Podge to make a Medusa band. Such a great idea. Thanks for sharing this.
Medusa band. I was thinking about that. Really cool. And I'll show you some other things later with it, but yeah. So this is number 3. Look at that.
Very cool. Yay.
So here she is. So think of just the knots. Like, I know it's hard to see them, but look at how pretty that is.
It
Just
is.
the knots on themselves. So it still looks, and then you don't see where those wings got incorporated. It's just like they're coming out of her head. Okay. I'm gonna put her here. I'm already out. She's kind of wide. Get this out of the way. So more construction. We're gonna now go into Halloween here. So I have so many different, here I'll go down. I have so many different, as you can see behind me, pieces that I want to share with you because they're all made out of hair. But I want to go into just doing more of like a bat ear for you. So let's get this one. I did half of it already because I just fell in love with this, kind of like a Halloween look to it. You can do this like as a unicorn. Oh my God, I was like placing it all over the place and seeing which place I liked it the best. So I'm gonna share this technique with you. So I'm just gonna show you my partings here. So this is a triangle that I left out right here. I was inspired by kind of like a bat ear, I thought would be kind of cool. And she has a lot of texture and she has short hair. Now imagine if she had longer hair, it would be crazy. You can build it up, but I just wanted you guys to get the ideas of it. So then what I did is I took out and I sectioned all the way halfway to the head. So see, it's like I split it and then I just combed it so that it would all blend so that you don't have any seams of any sort. And I took, when I ponytail this, now this is a trick, like, you know, when you're doing ponytails, you hate for it to get real bumpy right here, or it's like really hard. I swear that cutting a strong bob and putting ponytails in hair are probably the 2 hardest things to be a hairdresser because you can comb all that hair into place. And then as soon as you put the rubber band in, it starts to sag. You got to start all over, or it's on the wrong side. So what I did was I took half of the hair in the front and I pulled it all the way to my parting right here. You can see that. And I put that in a rubber band. Then I combed all of the hair in the back. So it's like 2 sections. So there's 2 rubber bands on here. So she's not going to move. And I kept her very smooth. Now, one of the things that I like to do, say, if she is a little bumpy or something, what I'll do is I'll take my rat tail comb or I'll take the chopstick and then I just go up like this and that smooths out all the bumps. So you can take your spray like this, put your comb through it, like old school. And that will, like right here, she's got a little bit of a seam. So then I will just go in like this and start moving that.
That's it.
So see how just taking a chopstick rat tail comb, it just pulls all that hair and gets rid of that seam for you. So that's the trick tip of the day. Okay, so then I put all her hair in the ponytail. Now you can flat iron it because you want it to be very pieced out. I already did that, so because I didn't want to waste your time. And so there's lots of different things that I thought to do with our hair. I found this at the fabric store and I thought silver would be good. This is a pretty thin one. This is only, what does it say?
Quarter-inch.
Quarter inch.
It's
Yeah, it doesn't say,
a quarter.
but you know, the thicker it is, the more separated these pieces will be. The thinner it is, the tighter it will be from the separation. So, and I didn't bring any other, you know, so it all depends on how thick. I wanted her to really have that silver but if it's wider, then you're gonna have more of a gap from where all these little pieces of hair are.
You're gonna pull it through.
So I'm going to, and it's so great, this thing just goes right here. So look at that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take and I'm going to, what? I'm going to take this and I'm going to tie it. And then I'm going to tie it again. And I'm going to do it more towards the back so that you won't see it. So see how I brought that and I've got that little tail right here. That's going to get incorporated because I'm going to have that go all the way. It's going to get wrapped around. So now, like I said, if you have a thicker ribbon, it's going to have a bigger gap to it. So now I'm going to take this ponytail and I've done this so many different ways, which is really cool. So I've taken all the hair, it's like on this side, and brought it all in the same direction. But if you want, you can go all the way around and you get this like palm tree, which I thought a palm tree would be really cool to make out of hair. So see, this is my mind. This is how crazy things get. So I'm just going to start looping this around. Okay, and I want to make it secure. And now it's going to go, and so that back piece stays. It's easier on this side. There we go. And so I'm pulling that down and I'm pulling this tight. So now I'm going to take, and the thinner the pieces, the more that they'll come out. But see, if I had thicker yarn or rope, do you see how I have more of a gap in between these? And so then I'm just going to wrap that around. And you're going to pull pretty tight. And then I'm going to take another piece out. So this could be something really fun for Halloween, don't you think? Unicorn, You could even take a ponytail and put that like with unicorn hair, you know, put the ponytail first. And then you can go in and do this and make a unicorn, which would be really cool. So I thought of all these different, see how I'm pulling it tight, but see how she's getting very piecey. And then I'm just gonna go all the way around. Who wants to try this? And then take out some more hair. So can you see, like, if I moved around and took hair from different locations, how cool that would be? So this is my version of, and see how I'm pulling that down, keeping that tight. You could use yarn. I thought of using hair, which looked really cool too, like wefts of hair.
Different color hair with me too.
Mhm. I just wanted to, for you guys to really see it, but you see how that's all starting to. And then just taking more hair. I so will do this in the salon because I'll just bring some, you know, ribbon with me. And then I'm just going to take that. And I like how it goes like skinnier. Do you see how you could do this as like, if you really wanted to, as a ponytail on the bottom and take out on each side. So like you would take out hair on this side and hair on that side, and then you would have on both sides, which would be really cool. And put it as a ponytail on the bottom. That would be fun. So now I'm just going to bring that over and see how I'm kind of just
Yes.
holding that. Can you guys see this? I figured after I do this one, you wouldn't want me to do another one. So that's why I kind of just went in and did one of them. So then you can kind of see how I got to from point A to point B. I'm just pulling that down. And then I'm going to split this one and pull that down. So now, if you wanted to, you can separate them just a little bit by picking them up like that. And then I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to cut this. Not the hair. There we go. And then I'm going to pin that down. So what do you think of this, guys? Could this be a fun Halloween hair? And I'm just gonna tuck that in here. Grab that and just pin that in there. So now that I have this, all I'm gonna do is take my spray, and this is where you can kind of flat iron it, or, you know, just really expand them. I think I would like to tease them up just a little bit more. So I'm gonna go like this. And tease that underneath, so it gives it a little more support. And there's nothing else supporting it. It's just the ponytail. And you can really go in there and see how I can kind of bend them to any which way I want. So what do you think of this, guys? Put this down. And do another pin. And I will do the same thing on this one. Actually, she's a little taller on this one than this because I took different sectioning. I went finer on this side. If you need to bring that down a little bit, you can take your iron. Or you can curl them. So now we kind of, I'll give her a little bit higher on this side so that we're balanced. There we go. I think she's ready for Halloween. If you wanted to, you could do red ribbon. That would be kind of cool, or green. I just wanted something that you could see. So now in through here, we're gonna take this hair, and again, I just want her to have that little bit of a bat look to her. And I'm gonna twist that so she's not too flat. And this is all her hair. I am so loving this. And now I'm just going behind here where her hair is. Look how cute she is.
Wild thing.
And I'm just gonna pin those in. And do you see how this, I'm gonna take a pin. You could just wrap it around, or just, I'm gonna pin this. I mean, her hair is pretty straight because I straightened it, but I'm just gonna put that in there so that it's hidden. And again, just bringing that all up. So I think she'd be really cute for Halloween. And then again, how does that done? Look how cute she is. And you can just move these around. It's like little antennas. And I like how this is like sprouted up a little bit, but she's a little too, so we'll just bring that down a little. But see how I've actually taken the iron out and I can really fan those out. Do you see how that kind of lifted it? There we go. Same thing on this side. And then I'll separate it. And then she's good to go. She's ready to go up. All we need to do is put some black lipstick on her. And so what do you guys think of that one? Is that a thumbs up?
Very cool, very cute. Everybody's saying they love it.
Oh, yay. So pretty easy. Again, practice with that. Like I was saying, as I was doing it, I was, putting these pieces like in all different locations. So I like putting the ponytail like down here and then almost like twisting it, but leaving pieces out on both sides. So then what happens is you get that Y and then it goes to a point at the bottom. So you could do that in different kinds of ribbon, especially if that's hair, or you can add more hair to it by grabbing a ponytail. So this is my bad girl. So. Ta-da! I think we will move her here. Are we guys getting tired yet, or is everybody good? So my next inspiration, and this one has a little construction to it. Now granted, I saw on Amazon you could buy Maleficent, you could buy her ears, but so she was my inspiration. So I'm going to show you how to construct horns, which is very cool. So again, I had a very textured girl, and I just wanted to show you how I'm going to keep this little triangle out for now, just like all my other ones. And can you guys see okay?
Darlene, you had lots of comments.
Lots of comments?
In the last
I feel like I'm
month,
here all by
so-
myself. There's
No, you have
people
lots.
out there.
They do look like that. Ears cute. I've always wondered how the style is done, so thank you for showing this. Cute, very creative. That looks cool. It is so cool. Looks great. Very cool. That hair looks great. This is very fun hair with strap on the hair. It's very special. It looks cool. Thank you very much. Very cool, fun and funky. So fun. Love the versatility.
All
Everybody has something to say
right.
about this.
Yay! I didn't hear anything, so I was like, what's going on here?
I had an internet connection issue.
Oh, are we all okay now? So this inspiration, can you lift that so I can kind of?
Yeah.
So then this way I know where I need to point my, oh, there we go. Okay, good, she's good. So this girl is Maleficent. Look at her bat ears in the background. That does look really cool.
Here it is.
Down just a little bit. There we go, because this is going to be big. So, when you're constructing, you got to think about like, how am I going to get horns? How am I going to make them? Granted, if the person has long enough hair, maybe you can just, tease it, but still the shape. So this right here, and I'm going to go through everything. This is the beginning of my horn. So I constructed this. This is made with wire, and also I felt like I needed more of a base. So this is what that looks like. It's half of a toilet paper roll and a piece of wire that I'm going to shape into how I want that S turn. These are the wires. Now there's different kinds. There's different widths of them. So there's some that's very flexible, they're different gauges. And actually I just have the green right now. So this is what it looks like. It's just one rod. You want to go with, I think this is 16, a 16 gauge, so that it has a little bit of firmness to it. I love going to the hardware store. And I just took and I bent it. I have pliers and I brought them with me. because you need to know how to construct it. So this is gonna be my base. So I taped it with just some masking tape. I made like a letter 7 with it, or an L. And this is how I'm going to connect this. And then this is gonna help hold it into place. Okay? I know it sounds confusing, but once you see me doing it, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up on it. So I took out, and it's more of like a triangle rectangle. And my ears are gonna go right here, my horns, right? So I'm gonna split this middle down. If you see in here, she's pretty tight. If you see in here, it's flat here and it scoots out. So all of this. Then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna split this into 2, okay? I'm gonna take this side out. Now this is my, is it good?
Okay.
How's that?
Yeah.
So this is my construction. So when you're gonna be placing, say something like this, you wanna know where it's gonna go. And I know I want it to go like this, right? So, and I know I want it to be in this spot. So I need to make sure that I have an area that I can hold that horn down. So you can either put a ponytail. What I like to do is I put a braid. This is how I do a lot of my like pieces where if I'm going to be building things on top of the hair, I will put a braid in it.
Darlene, can you back up just a little bit so that the light?
How's that? Actually, this is too far down. Let's put that up a little bit higher. Okay. So now I have a rectangle. This is where the horns are going. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to put a braid, and I'm doing a very tight braid. Why I do a braid? It's because this is going to hold down those L shapes because I can slide them in there. This is going to hold all my pins around. And if I put a ponytail, sometimes the pressure of the ponytail, this is more even. So it's just going to be a lot more comfortable for the person wearing it. And I'm just doing an old-fashioned braid.
Lynn would like to have you teach a braids class. She's asking if you do that next.
I can do a braids class. Oh my gosh, I love doing braids. So I am just braiding this hair. Okay, over here. So does everybody know how to do like this is basically what, a cornrow? Because it's right on the scalp.
Is it over or under?
It's over. So this is an over. So see how I really, think about when you're doing fluffs of hair and say you're doing like a weave. A lot of times you'll put the braids in and then sew the hair into it. This is basically that same concept. So now I've got this whole strip of hair right here, and I'm just braiding it all the way through. And again, this is something that Takashi shared with me. Working with him really inspired me on how to. And, when I was making my very first piece was a chandelier, which I have a picture of that. So see, now what I'm doing is I'm taking that braid now and I'm making it a wider spot. I'm taking and putting a pin because I really want it to be secure so that when I put my horns on there, they will be secure. And then I'm going to pin this here. And pin this here. So if I was to put sometimes some of my big pieces, what I would normally do is put a braid, and I just put the braid like a circle, goes all the way around. So then anywhere that headpiece is going, I'm able to stick pins in because it's braided, so it's real nice and secure. So,
Someone else suggested it's a great tip for comfort too, for your client.
yes, they don't feel it, and trust me, they've had to dance in them. So now I'm just gonna do a couple more pins, even though she's not going anywhere, but. Okay. So now, this is where my horns are going to get constructed. So, first one first. First, I gotta see which side we're going on. Okay. So I want to make sure that they're very similar. So now, can I see okay? So now I'm going to put this in. I want to make sure that this horn sits about right here, because then I'm going to go in and bend it. See how I'm bending? I'm going to turn right. So she's that way. So see where I want to make sure that she's bending. And then I'll bend it more later. And I'm going to lift up my toilet paper roll. And I'm going to pin where this needs to be. So it's going to go right there. And I'm going to take my bobby pins now, and I'm going to pin into.
Lynn is asking, how were the horns made?
I'm going to show you that. I left nothing undone here. And now I'm going to push this down and see how that is going to, that paper holder. Do you see already how it's like securing itself? And now I need more bobby pins. There we go. So I'm taking large ones. So honestly, this took me a good 5-6 hours to figure out. You know, right now you're seeing the part where it's like, okay, now I know how to do it. But I did a lot of like, okay, I tried using aluminum foil and shaping it that way, but it was just, it's still, the hair was too heavy. So then I went back to my old trusty, the wire, you know, and it's amazing. So what the horns are made of. So this is braiding here. And Jerry, I'm gonna ask if you can just hold this really quick. So this right here is braiding hair, and it's like, I folded it in half. So it's like really long. And then I just took and I twisted it. And I'm twisting it pretty tight because I want to go tight with it. So see how I'm just, can you see that? And then I'm going to put just a little bit of a rubber band just right here, not even tight. And then on this side, I have it all ready so that this is the part of the horn. So this is the hair. Okay, and this is braiding hair, so you can use whatever you want. And then I'm going to attach it right onto this wire. And I want to say that I think I made this wire a little bit shorter than the other one, so I'll fold it over later. So I'm just gonna twist this hair around. and I
Are you
start
using
at
the
top.
rubber bands then that's on there to help you attach it?
I
to the
just
hair?
know I'm going to
Okay.
attach right now. And so I'm going to put that on there. So my biggest thing was, I wanted it to have that point. So see how that's holding it. And then I start just wrapping that hair around, right? DIY. And do you see how it's starting to get that shape? So then I'm going to keep pulling that around, and I'm holding on to it because it's still not totally secure. But what's going to secure it is this bottom of the hair. So then I'm see how I'm getting that, and I just want to push that up a little. And now, because she has that base, do you see how it's like a horn, right?
Can the camera be moved to see the top?
I can move her down.
Okay.
How's that?
Good. About how long is the braid?
It was, okay, so that braiding hair,
It's about 4 feet.
yeah. So do you see how this is like really kind of securing? And I can move this to see where I want it to be thicker, thinner, covering up my toilet paper roll, but that just really helps secure it. So now I'm going to take my long bobby pins and I'm going to start securing. And I've got such a great base right now that look at one pin and it's already all holding. So it's pretty heavy,
Yeah, right.
but it's comfortable. And because of having, so now, before I shape it, because this was my practice one. So who's ready to make some horns?
Who's horny? Oh.
I'm not gonna tell you what Jerry just said. Okay, so I just want to take this off. But she's been for a few days, this has been, and she's traveled well.
We have a question here. Do you charge the client extra for the hair pieces you use, or is that included in your pricing?
Oh, no. I mean, if I'm gonna do something like that, like I had to make a hairpiece out of a bunch of look like flowers, and she was wearing it to an event. I charged her like $300, like a milliner would. It's like a hat.
Yeah.
These are like a hat, and then to, put it in.
And
But
that's something our great grandchildren will be talking about.
Mm-hmm.
speaking of, I can tell the world
Oh,
I'm gonna be a grandma.
Oh.
I just found out. So this little girl, which it's a girl on top of it, yeah, she's gonna be really spoiled.
You have the best hairstyles ever, especially at Halloween.
Actually, these are going to my niece. She wants to wear them. So can you see already? I mean,
You
know-
Congratulations being put in the chat.
What was that? Maleficent?
yes. So, yeah, I was practicing. I wanted to drape a bunch of hair over it, but I just liked it just like this. I think it. See how I'm just, and this one, I mean, I just pinned it in and now I'm gonna secure it. And it's so easy to secure once you have that grade. So it's like without that good foundation, it's gonna come falling down. Twist that. And I'm gonna slide, do you see how I have some of that wire? This helps hold it. So I'm just gonna loop it down. Yeah, I like have tools with me too. And do you need to see that? Can you guys see this? So I just bent this. And now I'm going to pinch it together so it's not going anywhere. And see how that hair will be stuck to it now. Darlene. So when I was doing and working on these, my daughter called and she's in Florida. And I was like, what do you think? What do you think? And she's like, oh, it needs to be this or it needs to be that. So I just love having all the input from my kids. So yeah, just shape it. How's she looking? Is she looking pretty even?
Pretty spooky.
I mean, look at that. I mean, she's really not going anywhere. Go in with your spray. She's a little off here. So that's the nice thing about these wires.
Linda has a question. Couldn't you take a long synthetic Halloween wig and work? Sorry.
The thing is, even if you take, and you know, if you go on my website, actually probably on Instagram, I made a cornucopia. And that was done with a wig. And the whole cornucopia is all the wig hair and then some of it coming down. I bought a really long wig. So yeah, you can. But the thing is, even if you do that, you still need to do your infant
Base.
structure. You need your base. So even if I was to say, start this, I would still put my toilet paper and wires, and then I would just bring all that hair around it and keep teasing it and building it up. But you need the base because without it, it would be really hard to get this shape. If you were just doing a straight shape, you probably, you know, I've done it where I've done rolls and built up so that it looks like like a U, you know, and that was with no wires or anything. But when you want to have horns, you know, it's just easier.
Someone pointed out in the chat that we got a little bit of TP roll shown in the front. And then
Oh, thank you.
your viewers would like to know what your Instagram handle is.
Darlene Burnham. Okay. So yeah, so I think she's looking pretty good. So now what we're gonna do, and I want her to have just, I'm going to wrap this hair to incorporate right here. And I'm gonna take this, and I'm kind of seeing how that hair is falling. And I'm just gonna place that right there. And then we'll have those horns. So really, I mean, just knowing how to do this,
Screen print.
and she's very secure. And see how I'm just wrapping that around here. I love Halloween. Medusa, oh my gosh. So cool. And then this right here. So if you wanted to, you could have it so she has some hair. Or you can pull this all the way back. I actually like it like that. What do you think? Kind of down the middle. So she just had all this curl. Spray this. So if anybody lives in Dyer, Indiana, my niece would be walking around with these in her hair on Halloween. So yes, ever since my niece was little, I've made her hair pieces for Halloween. So when she wanted to be, what was the girl with all the braids? Tangled.
Oh, yeah.
I had to.
We have a question from you, Darlene.
Mhm.
If you were doing a Medusa style, what other ideas do you have?
A lot of them. Hold on one second. I just want to show you. Look at how good that's incorporated in the back. Isn't that great? So then I'll get back to you on the Medusa thing. So I just want to have her hair out and natural in the back. So I'm just going to comb this out.
Move around, it's hanging in there really good.
Oh yeah, she's not going anywhere. And so I'm just teasing her out. So this is Darlene's interpretation of Happy Halloween.
A comment that says, great job.
So kind of backwards. Look at that. So imagine if you're up clubbing, what are those? You can't anymore. Or you can, and I don't know.
Raving.
This is my, ta-da! Okay, I would love to see somebody do something. I mean, you can do it on a smaller scale. I don't know how these girls are gonna fit in my car.
I think they're gonna lay down.
Yeah, I'll definitely have to, I'll have to put these on Instagram.
Yeah, just take as many pictures as you want to.
Okay. Wow, amazing job. Love it.
Okay, look at that. We just, all these girls. My husband said the house was empty without all the girls here. He's like, wow, looks so different.
Darlene, I'm sorry to say, we've only got an hour left.
I timed it perfectly. Wow. I told you there's a lot to go. And then what I want to do is I think I'm going to go right to my, actually, let's talk for a minute and give you guys a breather. So this was inspired, my daughter plays violin and we had hair wars. So I'm going to piece them.
What was your theme?
Our theme was pirates. So I want to show you. Oh no, this wasn't pirates. This was music genres. I can't even talk anymore. But we all had different musical instruments or inspired, you know. So mine was Mozart. So I decided to make a violin, and it's all hair. And if you look at this, this is where, and I have a picture, which I'll show you, but oops. There we go. I mean, the strings are hair, these are hair, the little knobs, everything is hair. How I constructed it, and this is what I want to share with you. Look at the back. I mean, It's like 4 years old already, but it's really holding well. I took my decoupage and my freeze and shine, and I took wet, like the hair braiding hair, but I did one that was smoother, and I laid it down, combed it, sprayed it, and put it on the structure. The structure actually is a piece of foam, because I knew the girl was going to be wearing this and I couldn't have it that heavy.
Did she wear it on her head?
So she wore it on her head.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have a picture. Let me show you.
We have some comments. Impressive, amazing, so cool.
So now we're going to kind of get into the structure. So I don't know. Can I see really quick? Because then it's easier. Okay, so this was my violin right here.
How heavy is that?
Okay. There it is. And that's on her head. So
How heavy
that's
is
what
that
she
violin?
wore. And actually, if you look here, see this right here? That I sewed all flowers and it's all hair. All this is hair and all the flowers and the blue trim is hair.
Wow.
I sewed onto a bustier. But yeah, that's her, that's what you're just seeing right now. It's not very heavy, and that was the thing, when I was constructing it, I wanted to make sure that it was going to be light enough. So I took a piece of
Styrofoam?
this way, like which way? It's foam. It's real foam. And I copied my daughter's violin. And so then I took at my kitchen counter and I took and I cut it out with a electric knife, you know, and cut the foam. Then I sprayed an adhesive. And then I took this hair, and it's 3 different colors of hair. I wanted it to look like grain of wood.
Yeah.
So it's 3 different kinds of hair. It's a red, a brown, and a gold. And I mixed it all together. And then I laid it out on sheets. And then I had to use a trim because, you know, I wanted the edges to look really nice and clean. And yeah, and I did, okay, like right in through here. Can you see that? See these things right here? And that's like what's on the violin. That's how I decoupaged. I took little pieces and I put them and then I glued them on. So a lot of this is either glue gun or it's super glue, Gorilla Glue, or sewing. Then I took this, and these are just, again, this is hair. I mean, it's all hair. These are all hairs, and I just curled them together and made my little spindles. And this is a little piece of foam. You can kind of see here. Here's the grain. There used to be rubber bands. They kind of dried out. So. And then on the sides, I just took to incorporate, and I took these little pieces of hair and sewed them together on the sides.
Amazing.
So,
The comments say, wow, true talent, you are so creative.
so if you were to. put
How many
this-
hours did it take you to
I
make?
was just gonna say, so like, if I put this on, it's very comfortable. Look at that. That's it.
Yeah. Fits right in there.
Yep.
You thought of everything.
And this is, I got this at the wig store. It's like a bun.
Oh, yeah.
And I just left it red because I knew her hair was going to be red. And then I just put a big braid, a circle braid. And then I had a little bit of a bun because there's a little clip right in here. And I put it in there, and without any pins, it was staying. I mean, I did put pins just for, but the only pins were on this, nothing here. So again, it was like I was trying to place it at the best position, and it was like, this was perfect. You know, so yeah, so it's all about construction. I mean, so yeah, I love it. We can almost play it.
That's fantastic, very impressive.
So that's part of my hair wars. And we did come in first place.
I would imagine.
I had to, so I did Mozart, and then if you go on this picture, my second look was hip hop, because it was different genres. And so I made, which I don't know what happened to them, but this was my girl, and those are headphones. So I made giant headphones for her, which was really cool. It was 2 bowls.
Oh,
So, yeah, so it was really fun. So I just wanted to share that with you. While I'm doing this, I did not bring these pieces, but this was my very first hair wars, and this was a rose. We did Phantom of the Opera.
Uh-huh.
So she was the rose. And this one was the Pirates of the Caribbean.
This is impressive.
And this
It all is,
is
but-
all hair. So if you look at this right here, this is the boat and kind of that same technique. This is all macrame kind of hair. The only thing that's not hair are the rods for holding the sail. So you know when I was telling you how I was combing that hair out and then how I said you put a bend?
Mhm.
That's how I did these pieces so that they stayed. And then this is all her hair, all the blue, the waves. It's different colors of hair that I colored. And that again is got a base on it that's 2 donuts that are holding the whole thing.
Mm.
And then the other girl, she did, because we all had a piece to it, she did the flowers out of hair. And then the other girl, she did like a paper mache where she took for the bird. And that's all hair she glued on there to make the different colors.
everyone's saying stunning, amazing.
Good job.
So yeah, so those are a few of our pieces. And it was a lot of time. So somebody was asking hours. My violin took me, I want to say it was like 75 hours to 80 hours. My ship took me over 115 hours to
Wow.
make. A few other pieces, I made a chandelier. That was my very first piece. That took me probably almost like 150 to 200 hours because you had to learn how to construct it. So the more you get used to it, then the easier it becomes. This was part of my pirates, and this was like, I was inspired. This is all hair, which is like really crazy, and it worked. Look at that. It's all hair, which is really gross to think about because this is hair off the floor. So I was inspired, and underneath is just my son's baseball hat that I cut the brim off, and so that's the support. This is my like second hair war, so this is probably 10 years old. I vacuum it and stuff like that. But I was inspired by this artist. She did felt. And if you ever see some art pieces where the felt kind of melts into each other, you take this, it's like got all these needles, like pins, and you pound the felt into each other and it blends it together. So I thought, well, I could probably do that with hair and then shape it into a hat. So I took, everybody at the salon was cracking up. All the cut hair, it's like, as soon as it hit the floor, I was picking it up. And then I was sprinkling it on the floor on something clean. And like I had a mat. And then I would spray it and then I would pound it. So there's blondes and brunettes. I mean, you could see here how there's like different strands of hair. And I just kept pounding it until I got like a whole sheet. And then I just shaped it. It's not, Jerry's going like this, like, ew.
No.
But yeah, so it's all hair, which was really cool. So there's another one of my pieces.
You're so creative. That's great.
You know, just take all these
It
different,
is your habit.
it's my hobby. Yes. Okay, so I want to show you. I wanted to get all my pictures and I just ran out of time. Sorry, guys, but like I said, they're either on my Facebook or my Instagram, all my different things that I made. This is a really fun one too. This is my ice princess. So like, the salon commissioned me to make some pieces for the salon for different seasons. So I did fall and winter and spring. And then this other girl wanted to do, and she did summer. So another construction. Here's a wig. So this is just a blue wig. I wanted her to be very icy. So this is great because I just pop this on. I mean, honestly, I can take this off right now and show you guys. Because it's not really holding on to anything. So, you know, when I'm making these pieces, I just want to make sure that I'm able to work with it, you know, on a mannequin to do it, but then also for that girl to have it in her hair. So again, building and constructing was like really just knowing your, but you can see how I'm pulling on her right now and she's fine. We're missing a little bit. So even though this was a wig, I didn't have enough hair for what I needed, but I got the base. So this is her hair. Then I bought wefts of hair that were kind of similar. They're a little off, but I wanted it to be a little lighter on top. And I just pinned wefts of hair, curled it, teased it, sprayed it so that I got all this hair on top because I really wanted it to be really large. Are you guys enjoying this right now? Or am I boring you? In through here, this is going to be my base. And when you're doing photos, you're really not doing a lot of the back. So it was like more the sides and the front that were the most important. And so I just incorporated some of the lighter hair and you can see the difference in the color from back here. So I wanted to make her an ice princess. So I'm insane. So this is her crown, right? Right in here. This is latch hooked. If you look at this, it's all latch hooked. So I took, you know, the braiding hair and I took it and I latch hooked. This took a whole season of Mrs. Maisel, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, because I watched it and I latch hooked the whole season. It's crazy. Then I decided I needed to make icicles. So I took some hair, I took cotton. She's a little beat up right now. And I just pinned those onto the back. So.
Is that the one that was behind the desk?
Behind the desk, yeah.
That was amazing.
So look at already the transformation.
Oh, wow. Someone said it's so cool to see what you can actually do with hair.
So, okay, so here's my construction. So see the spray? That's going to connect. Jared, can you hold?
Do what?
Oh, never mind. I got it. That's holding. So then all I do, and so when I transported this for my photo shoot, this was separate. And then I just pinned it to where it needs to be. Look at that.
And
One
the photo
pin.
shoot, was this on a person or a mannequin?
It was on a person. It's behind our front desk every winter.
Okay,
They call her the ice princess.
okay.
So now I'm just going to, so if you see, that was one pin holding that. Okay, and now I'm taking a little bit of that hair and see where I'm putting it in, right into that. So when it came time to do this, all I really had to do was zhuzh her up a little bit, you know? So cheapest hairspray ever. I'm sorry, Paul Mitchell. But this stuff, and then this stuff is just, spray it. And these get pinned in. So you guys get the gist of it, right? But do you see how it just like boom? I mean, this is what makes that. And you'll have to look on Andrea's Folk Salon. And we post that all the time. And then I would just spray this, pin it up, make it, you know, fuller in through here. I just rouge these curls. The girl, the makeup, everything just, it's all tied in. So, nope, that's my girl.
Spectacular.
Just think, a whole season of Marvelous Nasal. So what are they, half hour, an hour?
I don't know. I
So
can't remember. I
there's like
watched them
8
all.
or
I
something,
can't remember.
so-
Maybe 45 minutes. Who knows?
So that was like 8 hours just for that piece. And then, so this didn't take me that long to make, but it did. So, the other thing, let's see, where are they? So I decided to make, and I didn't bring the rest of them. I did that decoupage thing and then I cut them out as little snowflakes. And so those were in her hair too. And then I put a few here just to kind of decorate it. So it's like all those little details.
Yeah.
So this is my ice princess.
Yeah, I walked into the salon, I saw that, I thought, oh my God. I mean, it's big, it was a big
It's
poster.
huge, yeah. And this isn't very heavy. I mean, she was surprised, you know, because it's just all on the front. But this is cotton right here. And then I just took that decoupage hair and twisted it and clipped it around here just to get those horns. So that's my girl. With her unruly horns. But she will be back out for Christmas. Okay. So. How much time do we have?
40 minutes.
Okay. So we're gonna do another DIY project. I did not know what to bring or what to share with you, but I thought this one was really fun.
Someone is asking again for that name of your salon. I typed it in the chat, but let me make sure that I spelled it correctly. ANDREAS.
HOGUE. Okay, so we're gonna have some fun. So this was a big challenge. You know, you see all these hair shows and you see all these balls and it's like, how do you wrap hair around something so round? So I'm going to show you guys how to make balls. I have lots of them in different colors. And so here's, I call these my limes and my lemons and an orange. So we're going to, and I'm going to show you how to place them in the hair. So first thing first. This is how I, you know, got a lot of my icicles. And like I was saying, this kind of hair, but smoother. This is like a textured braiding hair, which I have all these colors at the salon because little girls like having the mermaid hair. So I have it in the mermaid colors, and then I just take a little bit of it and then I braid it in the braids. So it's something at the salon that I do. So this one's not quite as long as like the last one that I had. So first thing first, I took a section of hair and it was probably, I mean, let's see. It was like this much hair. So I just pinched a bunch of hair. One thing that I should share with you, let me show you how to do this. So here's the hair, right? And I worked with this girl who worked with braiding hair. She does a lot of hair braiding and weaves and stuff like that. So she's the one who really showed me how to work with this kind of hair, because it's like, it's not tight or anything like that. So when you're pulling on it, you hold the middle where that rubber band is, and you wrap it around your finger once, and then this way you can get it. See how it's starting to get smooth, but I'm not pulling that hair, okay? Now, when you want to separate it, or if it was smooth, like when I was doing my ship and the thing, I would pull the hair like this and then brush it. And that's the only way I could get all that hair, because the hair goes smooth this side and smooth on this side. Okay. Now, if say you're going to take some off, so I split it right here. Can you see that? And as you start to pull, and I feel that this is important, relock your fingers on the hair that you don't want. You start pulling gently like this. I use my knee because otherwise it gets all tangled. Like it just did. There you go. So if it gets tangled a little, just do that. And then you have your hair. So I'm just going to put this here.
You know, the color looks so funny on the screen. It doesn't look like that green at all. It
No.
almost looks like this silvery grayish green. I wonder if there's something we can hold it up to real quick where people could actually, or if we could take the lights down, I'm not sure.
And then always keep that hair tied up, and then I twist it so that I don't get too tangled with it, because I like to be able to have it for another time.
It is. Darlene, someone's asking, how do you get into these hair work competitions?
They would have them in Chicago.
You were invited.
And you get invited. So my very first one, a girl, she came into our salon and she knew my boss. And she asked my boss if he'd be interested. And he was like, are you insane? No way. So he says, but I think Darlene would love it. And that was like, because I was doing them with Paul Mitchell and helping out Takashi. And I was like, oh yeah. And so we were educators from Matrix, Redken, Joyco. So that was our first hair wars. But Dan Barron has not had them. But I know I need to do Naha. I keep missing it and I just missed it again. So maybe next year I'll do it. So anyway, back to this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to first take my ball. It's a styrofoam ball. And I'm going to poke a hole in it. And hopefully it's big enough. I took and I rubber band the top, because that's going to go in there. So I want to make sure that that hole is big enough, because I'm going to shove it right in there. And it's not. So I need to go a little bit more. Sorry, Jerry, I'm messing up your floor. But when I take my hot glue gun it's gonna melt it a little bit. So can you see this? Can everybody see?
Mhm.
So now I'm just gonna, where I place that hole. And it's starting to melt. And now I'm going to go in here. And just twist that in there.
I type instructions as you demonstrate, so hopefully everybody.
So
can
see
get it.
how now it looks like, almost like a comet or something, like one of those little dolls. So once you just take and you just twist that and you keep twisting it, and it's in there, it's not gonna go anywhere. So then you just fan that over. And so then the amount, you'll want to make sure that, you know, you have a good amount of it so that you can cover it. But with it being so long, a lot of times I just flip it over and do it for a second time. But we're just going to do this one. So before I do any of that, I want to take my sugar spray because it's a little wet. And a little tail on here is good because that's how I'm going to attach these balls. It almost looks like a line. I don't know if you can, is the color off that much?
Yeah.
What does it look like? Let's see the color.
I think this grayish, silverish,
Oh my God,
greenish.
That's all.
that's so crazy.
Nice.
Oh my God, it is grass, like Easter grass green.
Yeah, it's electric.
My camera doesn't do green.
I guess not.
So you
And
can't turn your
so,
client's screen on this.
wow. So now I'm just going to, so this is my way of creating a very easy way to cover a ball. And then I'm just going to, I have so much hair that I'm just going to kind of loop it. And then this way, this is how I can connect it. So that's that. This is how you make silver balls. We can have, right? Silver balls. So now we're gonna construct it on our hair. So I just took and I sectioned all across here one way and then brought another piece this way, okay? Then I took and I braided. And the reason why I brought it all to this side is so that when I start building the balls and kind of placing them, I have some hair in the front so that it won't get wobbly. And then I have all this hair going in one direction, so it'll be easy to put the pins in. Okay. So and you can do all different kinds of sizes. I made a bunch of them so that I have them all ready for you guys. There's one that I mixed two colors together, orange and yellow. So there's always something, right? Can you see the yellow?
Yeah, the yellow is very vibrant, and the orange shows up through the color.
So now it's like, do I want it to look like a mohawk? Do I want it to look this way? Do I want it to be asymmetrical? So I always start with my largest, so then I build around it. Where do you think it should be? I'm thinking asymmetrical, or should we go down the front?
I like it on the sides, asymmetrical.
Like a little bit, like on this side maybe? Okay. So then all I start doing is, see these tails? I take my large pins. Now, if I was constructing it onto something to wear, what I would do, and see that tail's already holding it down. I would take probably one of those big foam donuts, and I would start building on that. And then I could pin it on the person's
Like
hair.
one of those rings that you make a
big-
wreath out of? I'm trying to picture this.
No,
foam.
no, like the sponge, the donuts, like for,
What do you call that?
they're donuts
Oh, for like a bun?
for a bun
Okay.
donut.
They
Yes,
call it a rat or something like that?
yeah. A rat? No, not a rat.
What is, it's something like that.
So I'm just placing, and so I don't know exactly how. Okay. I'm gonna have you guys be my ears, or not my ears, my eyes. So I'm just starting. I did do, and I'm gonna show you this. I took smaller balls. And these were $3.99 at Darlene, if anybody needs to know. And
They
then
also have these at the dollar store,
they
the
do.
foam balls
Oh,
in different
man.
sizes. Mhm.
So I put some foam balls in here. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So I have 4 of them. So again, I'm just going in. And then I'm going to cover. And if say the person's hair is dark, I had spray painted so that they have like a different color to them. And then I'm going to take my spray.
So you spray paint the balls to match the person's hair?
Mhm. But see how you just really kind of shape it. And then just put a rubber band on the end. So I can incorporate these in later. But see how pretty that looks? Just gives it a different style. And again, I left that little bit out. Now.
It's Chiquita Vanilla.
Mhm.
I am just placing that. I was doing a hair show with Vivian McKender, which she's my biggest idol. And she was like saying that she took and made sure that all of her people that work for her would take a class on flower arranging. And so that really helped.
Real flowers?
Yes, because that kind of gives you an idea of how to arrange her hair.
Yeah.
So
Makes sense.
now I'm taking my hairpins and I'm sticking them right in the ball.
So those 2 balls are together?
So now they're together. Mhm. And if I wanted to make it permanent, I would take my glue gun and glue them together, but I don't want to do that because these aren't going to stay. But see how we're starting to get more stability and more secure. So, what do you think of this one? Who's up to make some crazy shapes? And then you just keep building and building and building until you like where it's at. How are we doing?
Looks like a hairstyle that would be like in a Florida citrus parade.
Well, they're not seeing the green, right?
No.
So I'm just pinning wherever I feel it needs it. Yay. So then you just keep putting them in and building.
We have some people commenting nice, very creative.
A little different, right? So then if you look at the back here, you've got all this hair, right? So I want to add another green right in here. So see how you just keep you keep placing them and placing them. Now I'm doing this very gingerly, so, and then I'm going to take this hair and incorporate it. So that kind of covers it up. In through here. I really didn't know if I was going to get through everything here.
Great.
So in through here, I just did a taxi, and I want to show you. Is this, I mean, I'm spinning her around. She's doing pretty good.
Someone asked, would positioning a string of lightweight grapes cover or give more of a fruit look? Lynn is asking.
Yes, and when you look on my side, I have a cornucopia that I made out of grapes, which is really cool. So it has pumpkin, grapes, apples, all kinds of stuff. Sunflower,
All made out of hair?
all made out of hair. Mhm. I know, I have to find that picture. So this is a really cool kind of braid that I ran across. I don't know exactly where, but I just wanted to show it to you. So you take 2 pieces of hair, you split the one in half. Is that better on this side or should I be on the other side? How's that? Okay, so let's start again.
It's good that I can come down over it.
Okay, so I'm taking and I'm splitting this hair in half. I'm pinching, pulling through, okay? Now I'm going to split the hair in half, always in the same hand, and pinch it again. So now I've got these 2 pieces. Do you see how it's separated from where we're pinching? Now I'm going to go the opposite way, so I'm dissecting it. And then you're going to pull that through. Here's those 2 pieces. I'm going to go and dissect it again. So that's going to keep it locked in. And I'm going to dissect it again. And this is a great way to create such a fun braid. Look at that. Totally braids the hair. So I'm going to pull this apart. And I'm going to bring that up. And I will have to, but see how I've like covered all those areas here. Isn't that pretty braid?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy. Yes, Jerry, I can do a braid class. And I just don't want any of that silver hair. And I would spray her up and then I would put this right here. And connect it right to the braid. So see how I can just connect them right into the braid and then they stay secure. Am I moving too much? So this is my sunshine girl. Actually, with those balls right there, I think that looks really cute. Just a little something. We could have put on the top, we could put a faux hawk, but that's how you cover balls with hair. What do you think of that, guys?
Beautiful. Well, a lot of
Is she
fun.
lopsided or is she pretty good? I mean, I haven't even really seen her.
I'd say symmetrical.
Actually, I don't think it's that bad. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Guys, these are bright green. That looks horrible. There's always something that happens when I'm doing these. First it was, you couldn't see all my lettering. Then another time it was too shiny, so you couldn't see it at all. This time, that is so crazy. It is, but right here, this is, oh no, that looks silver too. It is the brightest green. We'll have to take a picture and send it to you.
Oh, I have.
But here she is. So see, composition is, and see how it like covered all that. And just gave it something a little fun. Oh my God, that is so funny. I should have done all yellow. That's crazy.
You would know.
Okay, where we at? How much time do we have?
15 minutes.
Perfect. If I can get her off. Okay, any questions so far?
Probably too many to say.
Okay, I have to show you. My cornucopia that I made, this is another piece that I dream of hair. So this is a sunflower that I made, and this is all hair, every single piece. If you look, it's just a circle right down here, a piece of cardboard, and I just glued, you know, like these are like to do testers, like for classes and stuff, the hair.
Yeah.
So I had I dream of hair, I'm sorry guys, but I thought it would be such a cool thing if it was petals. So that's what this is. These are just petals that I reshaped, and I did the decoupage. I colored them first. I colored all of the hairs, and then as you can see here, they're just like orange and then yellow, and I just did Pop XG, and so it was like yellows and oranges and stuff like that. And then I let them dry and I fanned them out like this, and then brought them to a little bit of a point. And I took a piece of saran wrap and I put it over a bowl so that they had just that little bend to them. You know, the shape, the roundness. And so that's how I got like the shape of them kind of going like a flower petal. So this is like another thing, like all my little pieces. And these were great, you know, just making different colors and shaping them into different things. And I used them one time for girls' nails, you know, which was really cool. Yeah, hair nails.
Someone commented, great class, actually kept me engaged and interested.
Yay. Okay, girls, there's my girl. I want to talk about her. This is my beehive. This was again from the salon.
It's definitely a beer.
And so I was in, it was crazy to construct this thing. This thing took me about 90 hours to make, because I start the clock from when I start futzing with it until it's done. So I was really inspired. I took, you know how I have that weft of hair that we shaped and molded? So this was blonde wefts of hair. And there's a wig underneath here. So there's a wig and it's very short, and I kind of braided it. And then I took a male mannequin because I didn't know who this was going on. So I wanted it to make sure it had enough room. And I hand sewed after I colored all these wefts. And I think I have that on my Facebook page of me doing it. I laid out this whole weft of hair and I took sponges in circles and I did dots. So these are different dots of different colors. And then I took like a lime green yellow to color. So this, I hand colored this and I hand sewed this hair onto there and cut it on the mannequin, on the model when I did her. So that was my first thing. Then I was like, how am I going to build the beehive, you know? And so if you look under here, I had, you know, that hair that I used for the horns. I had a bunch of that hair that my cat got into. So it was like a big ball, you know, she was having a blast with it. So I just took it and I just rolled it and shaped it and pinned it on top of this wig. So that's what's underneath here. If you look here, this is all really dark and it turned out really cool. And so I molded that. This was really the most important. And when I was drawing it, I was like trying to figure out how the heck I'm going to make honeycombs because I wanted it to be shown that it was a beehive. So again, tons of decoupage. And I took, I had a metal pipe, you know, and so then I rolled them around and clipped them and then just let them dry. So I clipped them with these clips. So I took like a piece of the hair like I had for the violin and for the bow, and it was like long strips, and I kept them real flat, wrapped it around, and then I just put clips. So there were like 2 clips in each piece.
So then were you able to stretch them because they look like some are different sizes?
I did different sizes.
Okay, so like different
And
sizes
so
of
they
pipe?
dried that way. And then when I glue gunned it, they kind of reshaped themselves.
Okay.
So I just kind of did the beehive with it. Then after, this is like really hard. I took hair and I just went yellow all over and it just didn't look right. It was too yellow. So then I found some blonde, dark brown, and I just wrapped it around. So I pinned this down first onto the hair. And then I start wrapping all this to get the shape, you know? And then my little guy, he's so cute. Everything is hair on him. Everything except for this is a bobby pin and these are shells. So then I took some of this hair and I just rolled it up and made a body. And then this is a bobby pin for his antennas. And this is hair that again, I decoupage, pulled apart, try to flatten it out and make the wings. I even have a little tail on him right here. So this one you can see all the way around. It's totally.
Someone said, very creative indeed. Love that bee.
I love my bee. And then this is a flower. I just took orange hair and looped it. And then I put like a green little tuck, which is probably, oh, now why is that
I
showing
know,
green?
yeah. No, that one isn't. The hair below, it shows the green. It's that particular green that is like goofy.
Yeah. So this color green in the hair is what those balls were.
Yeah.
So yes, so this is my beehive and you can see the circles. I just wanted something really different on there. But yeah, so she's sitting on a yellow sofa. She's very cool. And the outfit that I put on her is perfect for it because it's green, very mod, kind of 60s vibe to it. So it was really cool. So yeah, this is my craziness. This is my hobby. One more. I had to do a hair show, or not a hair show. I got, there was this wine at an airport, and so the winery wanted architectural hair. And so he commissioned me to do some pieces. So I did circles, squares, and triangles. So the balls were one, these were triangles. And this again is just having that round donut bun, and it's just attached, and I had it on this girl, like, I think it was this way, but you can put it sideways. So I just made boxes out of cardboard and I taped them together, I made triangles. So I made them 3D. And this was really hard to cover because, it's like really taking just little pieces of hair, and
That's hair?
this is all hair. I just wrapped all around.
Wow.
Then I took cardboard and I wrapped glue gunned hair to these so that I can, as I was putting it on my model, I could just like add pieces. So I took it from 2D to 3D. See how?
So they had models walking around at these events with the different shapes.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. So one was square. The box
Mhm.
was really the hardest because I had to get like these little boxes, and then to cover it is really hard to get a real smooth. But yeah, so we figured it out, but this is all hair. And that's part of my hair world. I just love doing this stuff, and I think it's really fun.
That is cool.
Construction, and learning how to cover things and how to make it out of hair, and it's just crazy. But yeah, and so this is very light too. So, and this is about 3 years old. So yeah, I have all these in my house.
You don't throw anything away.
No, I can't because they're so cool. You
Yeah,
never
they
know
are.
when you're gonna use them again,
Absolutely. Well, you made a whole show out of it.
And you put so many hours into them, you don't want to take them apart. Yeah.
So I think we're right on time. I'm so glad, and I hope that you had as much fun as I did, because I love sharing this and talking and telling the stories and how I got inspired.
Lots of comments. This is amazing. Thank you for sharing your beautiful art. Thank you for a great class.
Thank you. Thank you for being there, because without you, Jerry, I couldn't be doing this. So
Love this class.
enjoy. Please share with me. Try some of these. I know it takes a lot of time. I mean, I have like a whole container of hair. So I just pull things out when I want to get inspired. So try doing some and tag us. I want to see some of those updos. I think those were really cool to see.
Yeah, please. Thank you all so much for being here. And we will see you next time.
Happy Halloween.